I sit a lot when I work. In fact, probably too much. You know what? Let me stand. All right, that's much better. I'm standing. The other thing that I do to try to combat sitting too much is stretching. So I went and downloaded some stretching apps. One of them, Stretchit, which is really good. But I noticed when I went through it, there's a lot of issues with the onboarding. And in my designer brain, I thought, there's a lot of things with proper design principles and psychology principles that we can do to fix it. The strategy on how we can do better, we're simply going to do reduce, prioritize, organize. So a little bit of cleanup on the design. We're going to personalize it. We're going to lean into that personalization, that information that we gathered up front. We're going to leverage that. And then we're going to use some psychology and UX principles as well to help foster some conversions and get people through that funnel. Let's dive in. Okay, so the first screen we're going to look at is this free classes screen, where it's a list of classes that you can take for free. In their version, these are general classes, they're not personalized. So I went ahead and did a wireframe mock-up of how I would approach it. First off, and we're going to dive into some principles behind it. So first off, it's not just free classes, it's free classes for Coleman. So it's going to be personalized. These are going to be classes based on the information I gave them and tailored for me. So for example, in the onboarding, I said I want to work on my hips and also that I'm a desk worker. So the very first class is fix your hips for desk workers. That is for me. And so the principle this leans into is the self-relevance effect, which is basically personalization, and which basically is people tend to favor things that are personalized or tailored to them. So this is personalized and tailored, as are the rest of the classes. They're all focused on hips. Maybe I went too far on the hips. Maybe you want to have a little more range here than just simply, here's a bunch of classes to fix your hips. But that idea of we're personalizing the classes now. We know a little information about you, and we heard you, and here are classes tailored specifically for you. The next principle is nudging. So you can see this very top one here is separated from the rest. It's marked as recommended, has a face on there, which I'll talk about in a second. I'm basically pushing and nudging you towards this one. Nudging is the idea that subtle changes in the way choices are presented can significantly influence people's decisions without restricting their freedom of choice. So you still have the choice to go to any of these three, or you can load more classes. The idea is that I'm pushing you towards this one class because, one, I know that's what you're interested in. It's fixing your hips. It's for desk workers. It's a short one. And if I was here working for Stretchit, hopefully I would know that this specific class is actually a good one and people tend to enjoy it. And this is actually something that I would enjoy, or I would have a high confidence that I would enjoy. So, you do have to be a little bit careful with nudging. You want to be ethical. You don't want to push people into the wrong decisions or things that only favor the business. You want to push people towards things that you think they'll genuinely enjoy based on what you know about them. So we're doing some nudging here. It's recommended. It's obviously separated from the rest. The next thing we're doing is we're leaning into faces. So in this mock-up, I'd have somewhere maybe in the thumbnail, I'd have a face pretty prominent, or maybe just a face overlay of the instructor on top of it. The reason is we're wired to recognize faces quickly. Again, I'm trying to get you into this class. I think this will be a really good fit for you. And so I'm kind of pushing towards that. So we did some with the design by separating it and prioritizing it. We did some nudging there, put a face on there, really trying to draw you to this class here. So make that decision easy, which is the next part of it. There's this idea of paradox of choice, which means too many choices can lead to dissatisfaction and decision fatigue. So really trying to simplify. You can see already, cut down the number of classes, but also just trying to make the decision. Just, hey, we know about you. You told us, we asked for all this information. We think this one will be really good, and trying to make it really easy for you to make that decision. So you're not worried about, you're not thinking about making decisions. You're just kind of getting into like a class that's going to be really good for you. So a number of principles here that apply to simplifying this design to kind of get you into and push you towards what we think will be a really good class for you going forward. So that's the first part. Next up, we actually have you take the class. No change here. Only thing different would be they offer a general class. I would recommend do that personalized class. So it's for me, it's fix your hips. So it's not a general flow. It's something tailored to what you would want based on what you told us. So that's the second screen. And then the next part, their flow, remember, there's a little bit different. So before you actually take this class here, you have to sign up. So they put this before. So you sign up and then you take the class, the free general class. I'm recommending that this goes after so I can go through the list of classes, I experience some value, and then I'm going to prompt you to sign up. But instead of just a sign up, what I'm going to recommend is this kind of intermediate screen where it says, hey, great job today. And I'm going to put you into a challenge. So complete the 3 stretch challenge. That's 3 stretch classes in 7 days. So your deadline is Friday, May 9th. I took this on May 2nd. So 1 week from that would be May 9th. And then we have a little tracker here. My starting point is Friday, May 2nd. I have 2 more that are not yet complete. And then a little more description here, 3 stretch challenge, 3 stretch classes in 1 week. And then be prompted to create my account to track your progress. So track your progress with an account there at the bottom. So let's talk about the principles in this one. First up is time scarcity. So we have a deadline, May 9th. And this basically is people are more likely to take action if there's a time limit. So it's not that you have 3 classes, it's you have 1 week to complete these 3 classes. And you already have 1 already done. Now, I put the dates in here, Friday, May 2nd, to tap into the fresh start effect. This is individuals feel more motivated to pursue goals and make positive changes at the beginning of a new time period, such as a new year, new month, or week. So this isn't the start of a new year, a month, or a week. If anything, it's the end of the week. It's a Friday. But I thought I'd at least try. You can't control when people are going to sign up, but I thought I'd at least try and say, kind of give this starting date, Friday, May 2nd, which happens to be the day I did this, as like, this is your new start date, and kind of frame it in that sense to lead into a little bit of this fresh start. Like, here's your stretching journey starts on May 2nd. So hoping to tap into a little bit of this feeling of more users are more likely to work on these goals if I have this fresh start date, even if it happens to be on a Friday. And then next up, we have the endowed progress effect. So you can see we have a sort of progress tracker here. I'm 1 of 3 done. People are more motivated to complete a task when they feel they've already made some progress towards the goal. So I already made some progress. I'm 1/3 of the way in there. And now this is framed in a way that, hey, you didn't just take 1 class. You did 1 of 3 of this challenge now. And so now leaning into this principle, I'm more likely to say, all right, you know what, I will complete the other 2. And then self-relevance effects. We've seen this before. This is personalization. So it's not so much of just create an account, it's track your progress. And so create your account to track your progress. So it's a little bit of, you own this. This is your story. This is something you're doing. This isn't about us necessarily. Just obviously we as a company would want the account, but this is more about you tracking your progress in that sense. So a little different here in terms of how I'd approach it, leaning into some of the design principles and psychology principles as well to create what I think would be a better design and would lead, I think, 2 things. 1, better conversions, more users, but also happier users. All right, there you have it. So we went from an app that focused more on the business and what the business wants and just kind of collect information and not really offering that much value up front to an experience that is a little more tailored and personalized to the user to help them solve their problems and their goals and wrap them in a way that's going to help push them and promote them to achieve a goal and achieve these streaks and ultimately achieve what they're set out to do. And in my case, stretch my hips and fix the problems from sitting too long, wrapped up in the goals and the streaks and framed in a way that's going to help me and foster me to kind of keep doing this and use this because the app is really good. The product is really good. So we could feel good about doing that and pushing users towards that because the product is really good. And this is also just a few ways that you can apply some of these UX principles and psychology principles to your apps and to your products. Thank you.